I just want to say goodbye so I can finish this by myself without everyone looking at me. Hello, welcome back to Kiki's Global Flavors. My name is Kiki and today we are in the lakeside and we are in Kenya. I'm so excited. We're finally here. We are going to be making kuon and rech, which is basically ugali and fish. Fishing is the main economic activity in the lakeside, specifically in Lake Victoria, and I'm so excited to show you how to make it today. The main star to make our rech is the fish, of course. So yeah, I have my tilapia, and then another main star is kuon. So kuon in Luo is ugali. So, and this is actually when you go to a family in the lakeside, a meal is not complete without ugali. So this is my flour. So it has a mix of different things like millet and sorghum. So we just mix it. Other than that, we just have the other additives. We have our tomatoes, we do have our onions, and I have my capsicum and my coriander. So normally when I'm making a bigger portion of fish, I'll add things like coconut milk. So you can just go on adding as you go along. But for today, I wanted to do it the most basic way. So you're going to be doing kuon and rech, and of course you can add some veggies in your meal, which you're also going to be adding later. My fish is deep fried, so you don't want to do too much oil. I like onions, lots of onions in the fish, but this of course is based on preference. So the reason maybe why you would ideally deep fry your fish is you get to store it for longer. I'm sure most of us learned that in our science classes when we were studying, and also you're able to store it for a very long time, and also you can transport it as easily. Now, for example, I got my fish from Kisumu. I get a package from Kisumu, so transporting that without it being deep fried, by the time I got the fish here, which is more than 8 hours from Kisumu to where I am, that would have taken so long and the fish would be probably spoiled. So I want my onions to soften. So I have my ginger, garlic, turmeric paste. I'm just going to do a tiny bit. This can be a bit overwhelming. So because I know my quantity is very little, I'm also doing a little bit. So most of the time in my meals, ginger and garlic is my base. Most of my stews, ginger and garlic is my base, either in raw form. If I'm not able to have it in raw form, in powder form, in whatever way. So I like my onions so far. This is so yum and it smells so nice. I can actually have the onions just like that. I love onions. I have my tomatoes and some coriander stems. So I'm putting the coriander stems at the beginning and then the coriander leaves at the end. So I have a bit of coriander leaves here. They got a bit mixed, but it's still fine. My tomatoes have cooked down a little bit, which is what I wanted. So I'll do a little bit of salt. For my spices, I have my mixed spices. So I try to get more like a curry. I don't know how to explain that, like a curry taste, but then with a peppery kick. So most of my stews have more of like sweet and sour to some extent, if I can call it that, savory, and also with a peppery kick at the end. pour in some water, just a little bit. Notice I'm putting in my water at this stage, and I'm not doing the stew bit here yet because I want first the fish to soak in this fried goodness before now I can add now an actual stew. Put in my fish. So what we are trying before even adding water or anything is to get this to soak a bit of whatever you've been doing. So you can even, if you let this be, you would even have this at this stage. But what I'm trying is, I don't want to remove it at this stage because the fish is still a bit dry. So if you move it here, you're going to be tasting your tomatoes, but then in the middle of the fish is just dryness. So you want all of it to blend together, which is what we're trying to do. So that's why we have to let this to simmer, not to boil. And to simmer because the fish is cooked, but we're just trying to get everything to seep in. And then once that happens, then you're able to serve it. The more it cooks, the more it becomes soft. So right now it's very structurally sound. So the more it cooks, it becomes soft and then it might break. I'm going to put in my capsicum first because I want that to cook a bit more than the coriander. I'm simmering it. I don't want to cook it with high heat and then it's going to disintegrate the fish. We're not trying to do that. So I'm going to let this cook for maybe 5 or so minutes. Add in my coriander, stir very gently, and then that will be that. Then we can move on to making the kuon. You have to make sure your water is boiling, not simmering, boiling. Otherwise, your ugali or your kuon is not going to cook very well. And then for this brand of flour, you cook throughout, like you mostly are stirring throughout, and then once you're done a bit. Then I'm going to try mix that first. So more of like the way you make your porridge. So I have lumps at this point, which is okay. So you just need to be careful because everything here is just piping hot. Then of course, how you measure your flour, you will know by the consistency. So you can actually also use this to make porridge. Any flour that is being used for ugali or kuon, you can use it for porridge also. So I'm also estimating that this, I might need to add a little bit more, I can tell. But I'm mixing it in phases so that I do not get, you're able to get all everything. So do not be worried about the lumps. This will come together. So let me just reduce a little bit. But you can see now it's just bubbling like porridge. Your water is hot nicely. So of course this is not the consistency of ugali. So you keep adding until you get to the point that you need. So of course this is not your ugali yet. So you can tell this flour, if you have a couple of people in the house, will move a bit fast. So what happens if you use a little bit more flour than the water? You can just boil more water and don't add cold water to your ugali. So I'm going to work, so I need to be ready for the work. So this takes a bit of arm strength. So make sure you just have a cloth or the sufuria or holder to make sure you don't burn yourself. So my ugali is actually ready. So I'm able to tell. I know in African culture, when we were kids, you'll be told like you need to stick it to a wall, and then if it sticks, then it means it's not ready. But yeah, we do not have to do all that magic. So yeah, my souffle even at the bottom gets a bit of coating. The fact about fish is, I know most of us know this, and even when we were growing up, our moms forced us to take the omega-3 supplements. So fish is a very good source of omega-3, and with that, it is rumored to make us smarter, which is actually not a rumor, it's true. So eat your fish. So most of the fat from the fish comes at the head of the fish, and that is where you get the slimy stuff. Do not throw that away. That is very good fatty stuff for your brain. Now taste this. I just want to say goodbye so I can finish this by myself without everyone looking at me.